That's the highlights on. All right, so moving on to this lovely story about an Ohio woman who's now been convicted of, get this, using 50 stolen identities to collect unemployment benefits in 8 different states between 2009 and 2014. Here she is, 46-year-old Audrey Kostar, who has been sentenced to 4 years in federal prison. She's been ordered to repay nearly $79,000 in fraudulent unemployment benefits. She used some of her fake identities to open bank accounts where unlawful benefits would be deposited. Pretty smart, some might say. Quite the con woman, others might say. Matt McCall, president of Penn Financial Group, LLC. What does he say about this? Boy, she's pretty good at this, huh?
She was good at it, let's say. I mean, if you're a good criminal, we don't know about you because you're not getting caught. But, you know, I look at this in a numbers way too, Martha. Okay, she made $79,000 over 3 years, 50 different identities. You break it down, she's really not making that much money per identity. I mean, she's really not doing that good of a job in my mind. But it shows a bigger picture here. The fact that she has 50 stolen identities in 8 different states. That's 8 different state agencies that are being duped by this person. And I can't believe that she is that smart, that she's that intelligent, because no intelligent person is going to be doing something like this in my mind. So it shows that there is a breakdown, really, in our state agencies. I mean, anything run by the government these days, I feel like it's so easy for this to happen. How many people are doing the same thing as this woman, unfortunately?
Yeah, that's what really strikes me. And when I looked at this story initially, I thought, boy, the amount of time and effort on her part that went into pulling off this, and now, you know, she's, facing these charges. She's guilty on 2 counts of fraud. It's much easier to go out and get a job and make that kind of money over those years, right?
You would think so. Unfortunately, I think what's happened over the last, let's say, 6 years or so, a lot of Americans have started to rely on the subsidies given to you by the government. You know, the handouts that they've been giving, whether it's, extending unemployment benefits for extra weeks, the amount of food stamps that are being handed out, welfare has increased, obviously, over the last 5 or 6 years. So a lot of Americans have become reliant on the government. I'm not saying this person falls in that category, and a lot of people need to rely on the government. I'm not saying that either. But at the same time, we have this mentality, I think, a lot of Americans, that, you know what, if we can take this for free, let's take it.
I mean, we did that story earlier this week about Hawaii and how, the benefits are so generous there that lots of people are finding that they do better just kicking into the government benefits. But, you look at these stories and you just have to sort of scratch your head, because we're doing all these NSA stories about surveillance and how the government is everywhere. And I think, boy, how did they let this go on for so long? It appears that there are, the ability to how good is the government at checking up? Is someone actually looking for a job, which you're supposed to be doing when you're on unemployment, right?
Or if the person's a real person. I mean, you're using fake identities. I mean, I think what happens is, in the government situation, is a lot of these jobs should be outsourced. I mean, the government is here to kind of oversee what goes on in this country, in my mind. They're not here to run a business. And really, if you think about it, this country is the largest business in the world. It's just not being run by people that should be CEOs of companies. If President Obama was a CEO of a Fortune 500 company, he would have been fired many years ago. And so if you look at it, and the underlings below him work for that CEO, you're not getting the proper guidance from the CEO. So I see why this type of situation happens.
50 fake identities in 9 different states, and finally, after 3 years, they caught up with her. Matt, big picture story too, as you point.